days around.
Hello and welcome to the Tottenham America channel. Today I'll be rating every player's performance from Tottenham Hotspur's 3-0 win over Preston North End at Deepdale Stadium, as 2 goals from Son and a debut goal from Arnaut Danjuma secured the North London side through to the 5th round of the Emirates FA Cup in an away fixture on Saturday afternoon. Before we start with the ratings, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Spurs content. Comment down below what your thoughts were to the game and who your man of the match was. Without further ado, we'll start with goalkeeper Fraser Forster, who came into the side for Hugo Lloris. I'm going to give him a 6.75. He made one good save, I believe, really throughout the whole game. Wasn't tested that much by Preston's attackers, and claimed a couple of made a couple of good claims from corners, very challenging corners that Preston put in. But really, other than that, not much to deal with for Forster at the back line, but had to stay on his toes at all times because of Sanchez and Tanganga looking slightly shaky towards the beginning. Really, Sanchez for the whole game, very, very shaky. Moving into our back line, I'm going to start with Japhet Tanganga. I'm going to give him a 6.5. I thought he started the game a little slow. I feel like he was looking very shaky at the back, but he was much more solid than Davinson Sanchez. And then as we went into the second half, he got the assist for Son's first goal, played a big part in the second goal, and ultimately had a pretty good performance at the back, which is really something he needed because he hasn't been incredible in his last couple of appearances for Spurs. Center back Davinson Sanchez, who captained the side today. I'm going to give Sanchez a 5.25. Easily our worst out of the back 3. I thought he was shaky the whole game. He made 3 or 4 mistakes really where he let Preston attackers have a chance, where really he should have been the commanding defender throughout the whole period. And we were almost kind of lucky to not have conceded a couple times. I think really it mattered that Davinson Sanchez recovered not too bad. He was able to stay on the attacker and not lose himself completely. But still, if we were playing a Premier League team, I think they would have capitalized on that error and we would have conceded a goal. So yeah, the mistakes aren't very, very good from Sanchez, and it's kind of something that we've learned to expect from him because it seems to come every time he plays. He just doesn't look settled on the ball, which is a shame because he's really well built physically. He's got some pace to him. He is strong. He's airily. He's tall, so he's very good in the air. But the only problem is that just concentration often just kind of goes wandering. Our last center back was Clement Lenglet on the left side. I'm going to give Clement Lenglet a 7. I thought he was by far our best defender today. Solid throughout the whole game. Really not much to do within the first 30-35 minutes, but as we got deeper into the game, specifically the second half, he had a lot more to deal with, and he dealt with it very well. There were no glaring mistakes today. And honestly, he did get forward a good number of times, put in a couple of good crosses for the attackers in the middle. One of them specifically came to Perisic, who tried to nod it on towards the goal but forced a save from Freddie Woodman at the other side, who put it out for a corner. But regardless, a clean sheet is a good one, and Lenglet had probably the best performance out of the back 3 today. Moving on to our wingbacks. On the right side was Matt Doherty, who took the place of Emerson Royal. I'm going to give him a 5.75. I thought he was very average today. I feel like the ball didn't find him a lot in the first half, but in the second half he combined a lot with Kulusevski to try and get forward. He made he did try 1 or 2 crosses. I don't know how if they were successful at all, but it was a very average performance from Matt, nothing crazy special, but that link up with Kulusevski is really the reason that we got that first goal, because I think often we find ourselves on that, like when we win the ball and we're going forward in transition, I think a lot of the time we'll find ourselves kind of slowing down the pace, passing it along the defense, but Doherty and Kulusevski made sure to bring it forward all the way, and we caught Preston out on the counter, and Son had the space to take that left-footed strike on and score an absolute beauty from outside the box. So that's a good point of what he did today. Our other wingback was Ryan Sessegnon. And I think he was really the worst player on the pitch today. He was very, very bad. I'm going to give him a 4. There was nothing wrong with his receiving of the ball. He didn't lose it on first touch. The problem came when he was trying to beat that first man. And, I mean, he attempted 6 crosses today, and none of them were successful. He attempted 9 long balls, and 1 of them was successful. And if you're playing a team like Preston North End, which is, they're going to sit back, and they're a championship club, we're a Premier League team, really, they can't, I mean, Sessegnon has to be able to beat his first man, but he just looks so devoid of confidence right now, and it just seems to be getting worse and worse, and really, he squandered a lot of good opportunities for us in that first half. Just looks really, really shaky. But I think on the bright side, his defending wasn't that bad, but in a Conte system, from your wingbacks, the only thing you look at is the attacking side, and really, Sessegnon had no attacking side to him today. Because his crosses were really, really bad. Let's go into midfield, starting with Rodrigo Bentancur. I'm going to give Rodrigo a 6.75. I thought he did pretty well today, linking up with Bissouma in midfield. Of course, he's just fresh off of that injury that he suffered with Uruguay. So this was only his, I believe, 3rd start, but he did look a little... I think he did have a little bit of fatigue after the last game again with Fulham. So he looked pretty good. I think not as good as he has been in the past, especially before the World Cup. But regardless, he was as good as we needed him to be. He was moving the ball around well. Took a lot of dribbles on, went forward, wasn't afraid to play a risky pass, which was really important in the first half because we were not playing very well in the first half. We were very, very quiet. We didn't want to attack a lot. And, I mean, I think it's getting better. But, you know, I think all the stuff seems to come in the second half, and we need to figure out a way to put that in the first half because that's where it's going to matter against top teams like City, Arsenal, Newcastle, even this season, Manchester United. You have to start out early, otherwise they're going to close you down. His midfield partner was Yves Bissouma, who had a start in this game. I'm going to give him a 7. I thought he was a little better than Bentancur, especially in that second half. Really was the big part of the 3rd goal that we scored, the Danjuma goal. He played a big part with his dribble to get the ball to heel. Very good passes today, very common midfield, and I hope this is the start of his real Spurs career because he's struggled a lot at this club. I think the system isn't what he was used to playing at Brighton, but today he looked like he was playing like his old self at Brighton a little bit while also maintaining his role in the Conte system, and I'm sure Conte will be happy about that. Let's move into the front 3 now, starting with Ivan Perisic, who played in the front 3 instead of his usual left wing-back position, replacing Harry Kane. He was able to get an assist on the board for Son's 2nd goal with a beautiful backheel flick. I'm going to give Perisic a 7.5. I thought he was very, very good today. He played striker for most of the first half, and he was making a lot of runs. The effort was there, but the ball really never reached him. But in the second half, he really came alive. He got the ball a lot more, and he provided a beautiful assist for Son's 2nd with an incredible backheel off of a Tanganga forward line splitting pass. So that was a very, very good one from Perisic, and really that shows his versatility because he's a great left wing back, I think, in my opinion, especially not so much when we play against teams where we have to defend, but teams where we have to attack and unlock the team. Fulham not so much this season. Teams like, Bournemouth, maybe championship teams. I think Perisic is a key player, but he can also play up at the top in the front 3, and he's very useful there. So I really like that from Perisic. He's been an amazing player for us, I think, all season. Some ups, some downs, especially at Man City, but I think he has done very, very well, and today was just another top performance. On the right of the front 3 was Dejan Kulusevski, who got the assist for Arnaut Danjuma's debut Spurs goal. I'm going to give him a 7.5. 2 chances created today, 1 big chance from Dejan Kulusevski. He's really the main creator in this Spurs team. He's the one making all the chances, making those runs, creating chances for the rest of the team to finish off. And today was no different. Very, very good performance from the Swede on the right side. And I really like I just love watching Dejan Kulusevski because the way he just unlocks the defense on the right side every time he goes forward. It's like a cheat code almost because his physicality matched with the fact that he does have pace. It's like the perfect combination for a player of his capacity, and we're very, very lucky to have been able to sign him on loan from Juventus and to be able to, confirm a signing for, I think, barely 25 mil, which is really, really big for a player like him. Last on our front starting 11 was Son Heung-min, 8.5. I'm going to give him 2 goals from the South Korean international, one absolute screamer on his left foot to get the game going before he scored another one off of a Perisic back heel 19 minutes after the first. He looked lively today. He looked like his old self. He was making those runs that we normally see him. His touches were much better. His dribbling was much better. He was much more contained. Didn't feel like he was always out of control. He was always in control of the ball, and that was really key. He did go off with a little bit of an injury in the 85th minute. You could see him wincing in pain when he was sitting down on the bench after he came off for Brian Heel. But he looked fine at the full-time whistle, so I think hopefully we should be okay with him. But him getting 2 goals today is going to be very, very important because we are going to need his striking ability against Man City. We missed out on that last time we played him. Last time we played Man City, so I think we'll if we can get that from him, it's going to be very, very important. Now, Conte made a number of subs today, 4 to be exact. I'm going to rate 3 of them, but also give my thoughts on Brian Heel. Skip came on in the 71st minute with Emerson and Danjuma. I'm going to start with Skip. I thought he was excellent. The way he came on and immediately started bossing the pitch. He made a lot of tackles today, a lot of successful tackles. He was very aggressive in the right way. 1 interception, 4 recoveries. So I thought he looked very, very good today. I was very happy with his 19-minute cameo, and he looks much better than he did last game. The last time he played, because I think it was last time he played at Portsmouth, he looked very shaky, and Crystal Palace the time before that, he just wasn't very good that game. So I think he looked much better today. Much freer, not so limited in terms of his decisions. He looked more confident, which is a huge thing for players. I think confidence really defines how you're going to play. So I hope this is the start of his revival. He's had a tough time in the last couple of years with that one injury that kept him out for almost 7 months. But hopefully he starts his revival now. Our other substitute was Emerson Royal, who came on for Matt Doherty. He looked, I thought, pretty solid today. He saw the ball not a crazy amount of times, but he still saw the ball a good amount of times. He made some good passes, no big mistakes, and he was trying to do some 1-2s with Skip and Kulusevski, which was nice to see. Emerson improving a lot, especially after that goal that he got at Man City. He looks much more better in confidence. His defensive ability is getting much better. He was great against Fulham, so I think we can start him against Man City and not really have too many worries. But we may not have to start him at Man City because Fabrizio Romano, one of the most trusted journalists in Italy pertaining transfer news, has just said that Tottenham have reached a full verbal agreement with Sporting to sign Pedro Porro. Here we go. It'll be sealed in the next 24 hours. Porro will finish his League Cup game that he's in right now with Sporting, say his goodbyes, and fly over to London to finish the deal. This is a huge piece of business because this will really unlock the Conte system with those wingbacks, because right now our wingbacks are not good enough to finish up that Conte system. So we end up faulting in the first half a lot. But with the addition of Pedro Porro, if you've watched some of his compilations, he's going to be the real key to this Spurs team, and it's going to be a very, very fun time to watch him come and play for us. And our last substitute that I'm going to rate is Arnaut Danjuma. I'm going to give Arnaut Danjuma a 7. Came onto the pitch immediately with energy. He was aggressive. He was running around and marked it with a accidental, almost mistaken finish, but still a finish to a great piece of play with Heel, Bissouma, and Kulusevski all involved before Danjuma put the final touch on it to put it in the back of the net, get a debut goal for him on his Spurs debut, and I think this could lead the way to some very, very exciting times for Danjuma at Spurs. I think he's going to be a perfect fit for us. He can rotate anywhere along the front three, wherever we'll need him. He's got that pace. He's got a finishing ability. So I am definitely very excited. But that's it for my player ratings for Tottenham's 3-0 win over Preston as they go into the 5th round of the FA Cup with this win. Make sure you like and subscribe if you want to see more Spurs content. Comment down below who you think.